You can use the ledger posting setup form, aka the project posting profile, to further control the general ledger accounts to which project transactions should be posted to. You post transactions according to projects, project groups, funding sources, or according to categories, category groups, or any combination of these criteria. When you create project groups, you define the search priority as project first or category first to determine which posting rules take precedence when the system searches for posting accounts. Let's jump in and take a look at the project posting profile. So what you're seeing right here is the project posting profile, and you can see that it's located in project management, accounting, setup, posting, ledger posting, setup. There's two primary tabs on the ledger posting setup form, and it's the cost accounts and the revenue accounts. What we're looking at right here are the cost accounts, and you can see that there's a ledger account type drop down, and that's basically where you define what traditionally was called a posting type, and then you associate a main account to that posting type based on a project category combination, and I guess you can include funding source as well too. The revenue tab basically has the same setup. You have all your different posting types, which is the drop down on the left, and you select the posting type, and then you start defining what accounts are associated with that posting type on a project funding source category relationship. Okay, what we're looking at here is a table that represents all the different posting types within the cost tab of your ledger posting setup. So if you look at the left side, it says cost price account. That's your posting types. And you can see that we have cost, WIP cost value cost item, WIP cost value item, etc., all the way down that list. And then the second column basically depicts the project types that posting type is applicable towards, and then which transaction types that posting type is applicable towards, and then a description. And the description, in my opinion, is the most important part of this, because it tells you that it's a P&L account that should be assigned to that posting type, and then when you post, it's a debit at posting, something like that if you're looking at that first row. So this information is all out on TechNet too. If you just search on project posting, you'll find it. But this is really what I use when I go ahead and I set up ledger posting. So for instance, if we set up, if we're gonna set up our project group to post a P&L, and I'm gonna post an hours transaction, I just know off the top of my head that the cost posting type is set up. It needs to be set up, and so does the payroll allocation. So the cost is the debit, and the payroll allocation is the credit in that transaction. So you'd have to go into that ledger setup form, the ledger posting setup form, and define the cost and the payroll allocation posting type in order to post an hours transaction. If you're going to post a WIP, I know it's going to debit the WIP cost value posting type, and it's going to credit payroll allocation. So in that scenario, you'd have to set up those two posting types. And now we're looking at the revenue ledger setup summary, and this is basically the same scenario as the cost summary. You have all your different posting types on the left, and once again, all this information's out on TechNet if you search on project posting. I just grouped it together in a little more readable fashion, or in a more summary fashion than it is on TechNet. But what you can do is go through and understand all the different posting types and when they're used. So basically, when you have a time and material project, if we're looking at that first row, and you're going to run an invoice, we know when you invoice, it credits the invoice revenue, and then the offset account actually comes from your customer posting profile to hit accounts receivable. So all this information here is very, very valuable if you're going to go in and set up the ledger posting summary. And when we start getting into running through end-to-end scenarios and posting, which is done in the basic accounting courses and the advanced accounting courses, we'll be looking at all these different posting types and how they're hitting. But when I get into this next demonstration as well, we'll look at it in a pretty simple manner.